Okay, so our second link challenge requires us to calculate how long an album of music is. And in this challenge, we're going to start off with a string that contains the lengths of each track in an album, represented in minutes and seconds. And what we want to do is find out how long the entire album is. So I've got LINQPad loaded up, and why don't you do the same? Pause this video and see what you come up with. What pipeline would you create to solve this link challenge? Okay, are you done yet? Well, I'll show you what I came up with. The first stage is to turn the input string into a sequence of strings representing each track duration by splitting on comma. And this was the easy bit, just like we did in challenge 1. And as we can see, there are 13 tracks on this album. Now we want to parse each of these strings into a time span. And we might try to do that by putting a select method onto our pipeline and calling timespan.parse like this. But when we run this, we see that timespan.parse has misinterpreted our input as being in hours and minutes, not minutes and seconds. Now, there are several ways we can fix this, including using the timespan.parseExact method. But a simple solution here is to take advantage of the power of pipelines and insert an additional step beforehand to manipulate the elements in our sequence into the right format like this. By appending 0 colon at the start of each string in the sequence, now timespan.parse understands that the song durations are in minutes and seconds. So now we want to sum our sequence, and unfortunately if we just put .sum at the end it won't work, because although the LINQ sum extension method can add together integers and doubles and several other types, timespans is unfortunately one of the ones it doesn't know how to do. So what can we do to fix this? Well, we have a few options. One is to add yet another select to our pipeline and turn each time span into a number of seconds. And then we can add all of those numbers of seconds together with sum like this. And we can see that the album is 3,421 seconds long. And so we'd want to convert that back into a time span to help us understand how many hours and minutes that is. But of course, to do this, we unfortunately can't easily add a call to timespan.fromSeconds onto the end of our pipeline, because it's not an extension method like the LINQ methods are. And so we lose this nice fluent method chaining syntax and have to put it at the beginning. And when we do that, we can see that the album is just short of an hour long. But there is another option if we want to stick with the pipeline approach, and that's to take advantage of the aggregate method I mentioned earlier. This will allow us to directly sum all the time spans in the sequence. We pass the aggregate method a starting value of timespan.0 and then tell it that for every element in the list, we should add its value to our running total like this. And in fact, we can simplify this even further, as LINQ can deduce that timespan.0 should be our starting value. So we actually only need to pass one parameter to the aggregate method. And we could of course make this solution even shorter by combining these two selects into one, like this. And so here you can see, with a fairly simple LINQ pipeline, we've solved our problem by turning our input string into a sequence and then back into a single value again. Right, let's try another LINQ challenge. This one's going to be slightly harder.